January the 27th in Melbourne, Victoria. A little update on the garden. It might be of use to someone. What new plants have done all right and what haven't. The weather hasn't been that good for tomatoes. It's been fairly cool at nights and occasional very hot days. So, like 41 degrees Celsius yesterday in the shade, and the tomatoes don't like that. These tomatoes are doing okay. They get a bit of shade, but no ripe fruit. I've got no idea what variety they are. They're just seeds I saved. I have capsicums are okay, so I'd grow them again. Had good success with the lettuce when it was cooler. I have a carrot here in a bucket, a multicoloured variety carrots, so I'm saving seeds for next year. A few zucchinis over here in the shade. Don't know how mildewy they are, but they were just leftover seedlings, so they may produce something. A few flowers, don't know. Zucchinis in the sun have done really well. I've had a lot of zucchinis. The tamarello is growing nicely. Gets a fair bit of shade. So, and there's the little beetroots. They're going along okay. So beetroots, zucchinis got food from that. The yellow tomatoes are the kings of the garden, which they produce really well. This, I have no idea what this poppy is. It's a perennial. So if anyone watches and knows what it is, it has a interesting leaf. And the pods are sort of like little balloons. And the seeds go, the little pod part closes up again, the seeds form in there. It's very pretty. So, the pumpkin, very invasive. But it's just, this was just grew from, I put the pumpkin remains out after I made pumpkin soup, so from a store-bought pumpkin. But that's going okay. So these are the zucchinis which get a bit of sun. They've kicked along really well. There's a nice big one in there which I forgot to get. That can be that they will actually store all through winter for 6 months if you let them get full size. They're more like a pumpkin, then you can stuff them or use the seeds. Should have it. There's some potatoes in here. So, oh, there they are. So I had potatoes first, and there's they've just been grown. Put cardboard on the lawn. Just some shop potatoes, and I used the shavings and hay from the guinea pigs, so they've grown quite well. They will grow all year round in this area, so I've always got a potato. I have to remember to get them before it gets too hot. So potato, zucchini, lettuce. And we got a lot of onions. I made some pickled onions, and we've got onions which I'm going to put another batch in because they grew well. So, but next year, no red tomatoes. Because the few red tomatoes which grew seem to have some kind of insect. And this is the first ripe ones, and they've been in for quite a while. Just so slow. I'm starved to death waiting for them. Let's see. The marigolds, which were meant to be the companion plant. Well, the other plants are now the marigolds companions. These were bought from not quite ripe, the seeds, and I think they're definitely nothing like what the packet had on them. I've got some little Turkish orange eggplants in there. So you can see. There it is. They would probably have done a little bit better with some, if the marigolds had stayed a little bit more compact. In the hothouse, which gets very hot, we have to throw a shade cloth over it when it gets 41. There's a cantaloupe, got a couple of them. Only one heirloom watermelon. However, I've never been able to grow watermelon or any of these kinds of, or rock melons, etc. in Melbourne, so I might try them again next year and put like a little bit of a trellis or something for them to grow on. This is the yellow tomato, which I've harvested a lot of. Still got a few on it. And the one I will be growing next year is called Tiny Tim. It gave me a lot of fruit, and it does fruit even outdoors without the extra heat from the hothouse. So the onions and little tomatoes are good. So the yellow tomatoes, they're fast maturing, don't seem to have insect damage. Very happy with them. The variety of these little yellow ones is yellow honeybee. Very easy to grow, quick. It took off so speedy. At the back here, I've just got a bit of corn along the fence. Only yesterday, when it was extreme heat until the clouds came over, did I need to put the sprinkler on them for about an hour, which I put here on top of that bucket, because they were looking very frizzled. So there you go, and the little trees are tamarello. And there's rhubarb there, which I've always got too much rhubarb. No one likes eating it that much. So garlic's grown well too. The lettuces grew really good over the cooler time. This is a old-fashioned potato leaf tomato. Hasn't got any fruit. However, it was put in a bit late, so I'll see how that goes. And as you can see, more beautiful honeybee tomatoes. And this is where my bush cucumbers were. Had lots of them. Next year I'll plant them and then do a consecutive planting about 2 to 3 weeks later, because they grow fast, crop fast, even with it being cooler, and then they die fast. And I've got a bit of celery in here, so it seems to. And this was an heirloom cauliflower, so, or broccoli or something. Oh no, I'm not big on that. And this is our sunflower, which the cockatoos came and bit the leaves off, ate most of the head, and then they decided to gnaw it off. I wouldn't want to be a sunflower farmer. So that's it. Yeah, if you're in similar climate to me, there are probably some varieties you could try for growing outdoors. The bush cucumber, yellow honeybee tomatoes, tiny Tim tomato, blackjack zucchini, I think it is, any sort of pumpkin, corn, beetroots. They all seem to grow quite well, and the capsicums also are coming along okay. So I get quite a lot of sun from this end. So yeah, hope that's helpful to anyone. And I'm going to leave it with that. Oh, these are some yuccas that were given to me. I thought they might provide a little bit of shade. I've made them safe by cutting all the tips off them until they get to a height where they can't stab people in the eye. So, yeah. Thanks for listening if you have. And enjoy your gardening.